Personally, for me it's great. I mean, we started working on this event in roughly October 2014, and they just follow all my requests. So I had all my mark layers. I have a very expert race officer on the water. We knew that was going to be a tough week because I was studying all the data about wind, tides, and other things. But at the end, we had a good week because we knew that we must stay on the water a little bit more like we do in the Med. So in the Med it's much easier, you know what the wind do not show up. Here you must push over, say, the limit. So we try to keep the sailor ashore a little bit more in the morning. But finally on the last day of the regatta we've been able to start on time. So with a little bit shifty day, classic land breeze day, but it was another good race. I'm very, very happy. I hope to come back here very soon.
Were the personnel that you worked with this week at a standard you think was appropriate for this level championship?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the good thing is there were a lot of young guys, and so I struck them, and with the local deputy race officer Andres Talz, we work all week, and we had the practice race in preparation. So I mean, at the end of the week everything was fine. But as you know, you start the day one is a kind of warm-up, and you bring your ideas. They may work in different way, but the good thing is, working on 8-10 meters, it's much easier than work with the classic 80-100 meters. So even if you are a little bit slow, I would say, or you're not fast as we get used to do, it's easy to to get in place and to solve the problem.
What would you change, or what would you do to improve either the personnel or the format? What things do you think could be improved on?
But I mean, I work on this course. I probably am the inventor of this course area, the inner outer loop with the 90 degrees dog leg. We did this in Ancona 2013 and it worked. But the reality is that you must be really on top of any shift, because if you have a really strong, or you have a 40 or 50 degrees shift, you pretty much overlap the two course areas. So you must be really on top, I would say, when you go from the inner loop, from the weather mark of inner loop to the outer loop. And so this week was good.
Do you think it was all the courses were a good fair test of skills for the sailors? I
mean, they were probably not perfectly, because I mean, I work in different way, and we get used to work a little bit at the last second, we say, So here I was a little bit conservative on laying the marks and talk with mark layers. But I mean, after this week, they saw the way that the mark layers should work, so at high level. And I'm pretty sure if we will come back, they will be ready to, for rock and roll at that level.
Course formats. I know that's not something you dictate, because the ORC does that through the Green Book. Personally, do you feel like this format of this championship, or even the World Championship, is about right? Is maybe need some changing, or what are your impressions? I
mean, honestly, I like to have the offshore race on day one, even if 3-4 years ago, I mean, probably because when I was sailing the ORC World was a classic. You have a couple of days, first day of windward leeward, second day offshore race, third day lay day. But now we compressed a little bit of the program, and I like to have offshore race on day one. I mean, if you have a breeze, after that you can just focusing on windward leeward. You don't get mad to think about which course, weather forecast, and other thing. You can really focusing on windward leeward course, and I think it's good, because you switch from offshore race, where the mark layers obviously work hard because they must be around the can or wherever we set the marks. But after that, it's just focusing on classic, inshore race.
Should we be doing more offshore racing? Should we have a higher percentage of points or more races?
But I mean, it's as usual, the odds, what the customer wants. Okay, I fully understand it's a handicap race, but I mean, the offshore race when I was racing was at 200 miles. And now the offshore race are any size, respect of the weather condition. So I mean, I think ORC is doing a great job. It's with certificates, and it's absolutely good because the certificates are clear, public. I can read my polar. I know playing on target time. And just to let you know, the races, the inshore, the windward, leeward we had these days, the target time, any race was between an hour 16 minutes and an hour 18 minutes. And play this game in this way is good for the sailor. You can have a couple of races. You can have even 3 races when you need to when you are a little bit late on the program. So honestly, I like this. For sure, we would like to improve. Any day is a new day. I'm open-minded, and if any feedback is good, to improve.
Did you get any feedback on scoring? Do you feel like, well, not you, but were the sailors giving you any background or any feedback on whether the scoring was done properly, whether it could have been done in a different way?
I think, honestly, nobody came to me. I think except one sailor that just asked. Probably was low C group. He said, can we start a little bit late, like 10 minutes after class A and B, because we have no time to ping it, blah blah blah. So what I did is I keep the same starting sequence. I just called that the line was set before with the orange flag, and we solved the problem. Sometimes are really small things, little details that make the difference, but the important for me is the credibility. So the sailor, they know that any thought I have, I will say through the VHF. When I come ashore, I'm available for them. If they don't like, the course was like that, my GPS is open. We can discuss, we can, any day is a new day. And the goal is, you must understand that any day you learn something. The judge of the umpire of the race officer knows everything, is the guy that will do big mistakes. And instead, the goal is that you can learn even from the rookie guy that does for his first time a race. That's I think it's important.
Did you have any redress this week?
Yeah, we have one request of redress on the outer loop due to we call the donkey sand ship. Just because, they were not aware, they are not educated for these things. It just decide to visit the outer loop, make a spin and get out. But honestly, the jury, I think, decide properly that, was not true fault on her own, so they just denied. But, outside the room, I was friendly speaking with the competitors, try to find a solution. And, through the Commodore, Yuri Sober, the day after he went to speak with the donkey dump sand boats, and we solved the problem.
Do you have any advice for race managers of ORC races in the future?
I think it's important that we like Paolo Massarini, that is the guy that bring me in the ORC as a principal race officer, continue to select a bunch of people, try to have the same bunch of people, or most of them, from one event to another, because I think the most important thing is the consistency. The main issue is that when you play the game with one design, it's easy. First cross the finishing line, no problem. Here, I think the jury and the race officer must be aware not only of how to lay a course or how to deal with the hearings and other things, but they should be well involved in the ORC Green Book and all other documents that are crucial for us. So I would say consistency, that's the word I would say.